everyone, this is Robin, the Pink Stamper. Today I'm going to show you how to make a card made with Hello Kitty Greetings Cricut cartridge. And I'm going to be making a card using this cute cherry image right here, die cut. And I'm going to show you a quick tip on how I make my cuts. What I do, if there is an image that has more than one layer, I put all my little pieces of paper down on my mat, so I only have to load my paper one time. So load your paper button. The first thing I'm going to cut is my cherry, and I want it cut at 2 3/4. And I just press the cherry. Where's that cherry? And then press your cut button. I have my blade set at 6, my pressure is 5, and my speed is 5. And feel free to slow that down if that's just too fast for you. I just really like it to whip through it and get it done. Okay. Use your little arrow keys over here and move your blade down to your second layer, which for me will be the stem of my cherry. I'm going to hit the close button up here, and I'm going to hit shift since it's the top right key. These are always going to be your shift if it's on the top right. So shift, and then you hit your cherry again. And this is going to cut my stem. Now I'm going to use my arrow key again and get over to this red cardstock over here. This is going to be my cherry. So now I keep it on the close button, and I don't hit shift, and I hit cherry, and that's my cherries right there. And there's another little layer to my cherry too that I'm going to be using the pink cardstock for in just a second. Okay, so I have my cherry. Now I'm going to use my arrows again, my arrow button, go all the way to the end of this pink paper, and you can just hit repeat last because you're using the exact same cut. You're going to cut this same cherry cut 2 times because it has 2 different layers on it that you need. And that's all you do for the cutting part. Now I'm going to show you how to make it into a really fun and cute card. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is use this Cricut spatula, which I love, and just take my images off my mat. If your mat is nice and sticky, you're going to want to use a Cricut spatula. Otherwise, you risk tearing your cardstock, which you don't want to do. So I'm just putting it all together. Before I adhere it, I like to make sure that my pieces are going to fit. There's a lot of cartridges out there that have just a ton of little layers. I do just recommend kind of setting it out so you can see what it's going to look like. This is a Zig 2-way glue pen. You can also use any adhesive that you know is going to be permanent or sticky. A lot of people like to use the Xyron sticker maker also for your Cricut cuts. And I'm just putting it all nice and neat. I really like this cartridge because it has an easy layer. Alright. We almost have this finished here. Now instead of adding the extra layer inside the cherry, which was that light pink, I've decided that I'm going to add a little bling instead. And this is a bottle of Stickles, or just any glitter glue or bling. And it just turns out really nice, that added touch, and it's really easy to use and easy to do. Okay, now you're going to want to set it aside as it takes a few minutes to dry. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. You just cut it in half at 5.5 inches, which gives you enough to make 2 cards out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Now I am using patterned paper here. It also has cherries in it to coordinate, and I'm cutting it at 3.5 inches by 5 1/4. When I first started making cards about 8 or 9 years ago, I thought that I always had to use solid cardstock for my cards and just either stamp them or use the solid color. I use patterned paper now all the time, and I love it. It's easy, it's already there, it's already made, ready to go. Okay, the second strip, I cut it 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, and I'm going to set that aside. This is a bone folder that I'm using. It gives me a nice tight crease on my card. And just kind of figure out where you want to place everything on your card when you're putting it together. I'm going to add this strip. I'm using mono adhesive here I'm adding the strip at the bottom of this paper, and now I'm going to add ribbon. Ribbon tying can be simple if you let it. I have this in slow motion now, so you can see exactly how I'm tying my ribbon and where I'm putting my finger and how I'm doing it. So you can just watch this part over and over again to help you tie your ribbon. And actually, once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to do and really simple. Okay, now I'm going to adhere the card layer onto my base. And I'm using mono adhesive again. You can use an ATG gun. Anything that you use for adhesive works well for cards. Oh, I'm changing my mind at the last minute, and I'm going to add a border along the bottom. It looked kind of plain to me, so I wanted to just jazz it up a little bit. The trick to using these kind of border punches is I flip them upside down. Some people don't. You've got to find what works best for you when you're making your projects. Okay, now I already have that adhesive on there, so I'm going to stick it on my card and figure out where I want to put my cherry. When I trim my ribbon, a lot of the times I just go straight across now. Sometimes you can go at an angle. Again, it's what your preference is. And I love to pop up my image with pop dots or dimensionals. Gives it a three-dimensional look. Okay, right there. And now it looks a little plain to me, so I want to write a little saying to someone, some sort of greeting, and it says smile. This is my plain and simple card. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a fabulous day.